Hello and welcome to this Crochet Triceratops tutorial. Today I'll be showing you how to crochet this no-sew Triceratops plushie. Let's get straight into it. So the materials that you will need are a crochet hook. I like to use a 5mm crochet hook, scissors, a yarn needle, 12mm safety eyes. Now you will need two main colors for making your Triceratops plushie. So I'm using light pink for the primary color, which will be most of the body, and then I'm using darker pink for the frill of the Triceratops. And I'm using weight 5 yarn, Yarn Art Dolce yarn, which I have linked in the description. In addition to this, you will also need some white yarn. Finally, you will need stuffing. So I'm going to start off by grabbing my crochet hook as well as my primary color. And we're going to begin by making our magic ring. Now, I like to use the 2-chain method to make my magic ring, but you can use whichever method that you like. So for my 2-chain method, I'm going to start by making a slip knot. So I'm going to put my hook through here and then pull this through, and then we will tighten our slip knot. Now I'm going to chain twice. So 1, pull through, and then 2. Pull through. So we have 2 chains. So our single crochets for our first round will go into the first chain that we made before, as our first chain will be acting as our magic ring. So we're going to start off by doing 6 single crochets into our magic ring, or into our first chain that we made. So for our next round, I will be working round with you. We'll be doing a single crochet, then an increase, then a bobble stitch in white, then an increase and a single crochet and an increase, which will take us up to 9 stitches. So we're going to start by doing a single crochet in our first stitch here. So 1 single crochet. And then we'll do an increase in our second stitch, which is doing 2 single crochets into 1 stitch. So we will do our first single crochet for the increase, and then we're going to start our second single crochet. So we'll put our hook into the stitch and pull through, but we'll finish off our second single crochet for the increase by pulling through with white yarn, as we're just color changing to white for our bobble stitch. And then we will tie our pink and our white yarn together. And now I'll show you how to do a bobble stitch. You are going to start by yarning over and going into your next stitch. And then we'll yarn over and pull through so that you have 3 loops on your hook. Now we will yarn over and pull through 2 of those loops so that you have 2 loops on your hook. Now we'll yarn over again and go back into that same stitch that we just went into, and then yarn over and pull through so that we have 4 loops on our hook. And then yarn over and pull through 2 of those loops so that we have 3 loops on our hook. Now we'll do that again. We'll yarn over, go back into that same stitch, yarn over and pull through, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops so that you have 4 loops on your hook. And we'll do that one more time. We'll yarn over, go back into that same stitch, then yarn over and pull through, and then yarn over and pull through 2 of those loops so that you have 5 loops on your hook. Now we're going to want to switch back to pink at the end of this stitch. So we're going to finish off by grabbing our pink yarn and pulling through all 5 of those loops with our pink yarn, just like this. So that's your bobble stitch, and now you're immediately going to want to do an increase into your next stitch. So immediately go into your next stitch and you'll do an increase. And then you can pop your bobble stitch out from the inside, and this is what it should look like. And then you'll do a single crochet into the next stitch and an increase into the following stitch. Now I'm just going to use scrap yarn as my stitch marker, and I'll put that in the last stitch so I know where my round finishes. And we're now on 9 stitches. So now for the next round, we are just going to single crochet all the way around. So just single crochet for 9 stitches. Now for the following round, we will do 3 single crochets and then 3 increases, and then 3 single crochets to finish off the round. So the increases should be up where our bobble stitch is. And this will take us up to 12 stitches in total. Now for the following round, we will just do 2 single crochets and an increase times by 4, and this will take us up to 16 stitches in total. So this is what your Triceratops looks like so far with its nose. And in the next round, we're going to be adding the bobble stitches for the horns. So I'm going to work around with you. So you're going to start by doing 2 single crochets and an increase. So 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets and an increase. And now you will do another 2 single crochets, but after the second single crochet, you're going to color change to white. So 1 single crochet, and then 2, but we'll color change to white at the end of that single crochet. Now you're going to go ahead and do a bobble stitch in white, and you'll color change back to pink at the end of the bobble stitch. So just finishing that bobble stitch off. And now we're going to increase into the next stitch. And then do a single crochet into the following stitch, and then increase into the next stitch, and then you'll also increase into the following stitch, and we'll color change to white at the end of this increase. And then we're going to do another bobble stitch in white, and we'll color change back to pink at the end of this bobble stitch. And now we're going to single crochet into the next stitch, and you'll also single crochet into the following stitch, and then you'll do an increase into the next stitch, and then do a single crochet into the last 2 stitches of the round. Now you can cut your white yarn off. Okay, so now for the following round, we're going to do 6 single crochets and an increase times by 3, and that'll take us up to 24 stitches in total. And this is what your Triceratops head currently looks like. So in the next round, we're going to have some color changes to our darker color for the frill. So just get your darker color ready. So you're going to start off by doing 5 single crochets in your normal color, and then we will switch to our darker color. So I'm just color changing right now. So for the next 16 stitches with our darker color, we are going to be working into the front loops only. So usually you go into both of these top loops here, but you're going to just go in from the bottom and then go and split these 2 loops just like this. You can see how my hook is in the middle of those 2 loops. So that's going into the front loop only, just like that. And we're going to do that for the next 16 stitches with our darker color. So we're going to do single crochet increase times by 8 into the front loops only with our darker color. So I'm on my last stitch in the front loop only, and I'm just going to change back to my lighter color now. And then I'm going to finish off with my lighter color, going into both loops with 3 single crochets. And this is what your Triceratops frill looks like. So we can cut off the remaining darker color yarn and just pop that aside. And now we're going to move on to round 9. So for round 9, we'll be doing single crochet decrease times by 8, which will take us down to 16 stitches. But for the parts where we did dark pink in the last round, so all around here, we'll be going into the back loops of the previous round. So basically what that means is, because we went into the front loops in the previous round here where we did the dark pink, if you sort of fold it outwards, you can see if you put your hook in, there's all these loops along the dark pink that are in light pink that you haven't gone into. And those are the back loops of the previous round. So all of those back loops need to be crocheted into. So anytime that we're crocheting on our light pink yarn, we'll just go into both loops. But as soon as you get to where you did your stitches in dark pink yarn in the last round, you'll be going to the back loops only. Once you've gone into the last back loop here, you can just go back to normal to finish off this round going into both loops. And that is that round complete. And now we're going to pop our safety eyes in. So our safety eyes are going to go in between rounds 5 and 6 on either side. So they'll sort of be just below the horn, but on the round before where the horns are. And we're just going to go ahead and clip those in just like that. And once you've got those clipped in, we can continue round. So now we will continue on to round 10. And for round 10, we'll do 2 single crochets and a decrease times by 4, which will take us down to 12 stitches. And we'll just be doing that into both loops now all the way around. So you no longer have to worry about going into the back loops. Now for the following round, we'll do single crochet increase times by 6, which will take us up to 18 stitches. So now I'm just going to put some stuffing into the head of our Triceratops. The next round is going to involve 2 bobble stitches for the legs. So you will want your bobble stitches to be positioned at the bottom of the Triceratops an even amount apart in comparison to where the frill is and the eyes. So for example, I'm going to start by doing a bobble stitch and then 2 single crochets and then another bobble stitch and then single crocheting all the way around. But depending on where your stitch marker is, you may need to adjust that slightly. So for example, do a single crochet here to start off and then your bobble stitch and then 2 single crochets and a bobble stitch. You may just need to adjust depending on where your stitch marker is, so that your legs are in the right position in comparison to the bottom of the frill. So I'm going to go ahead and do bobble stitch, 2 single crochets, another bobble stitch, and then 14 single crochets. So that is round 12 completed. You can see where the little feet are. And now we're going to be single crocheting for 3 rounds straight. So from rounds 13 to 15, we're just going to single crochet all the way around. So 18 stitches in each round, so 18 times by 3. So I just completed those 3 rounds, so I'm moving my stitch marker up. And now you're going to do the next round that has bobble stitches for the legs. So you can see that my stitch marker sort of moved over here since we did 3 rounds. So we're probably going to have to do a single crochet and then a bobble stitch and then 2 single crochets and a bobble stitch to line it up with your previous bobble stitches. So in this round, you'll want to do 16 single crochets in total and 2 bobble stitches. Now you need to position your bobble stitches so that they are in line with the bobble stitches from this round. So no matter how you order them, as long as they are in line from with this round, then you will be all right. And now we're going to start decreasing to make the tail. So for the next round, we're going to do single crochet decrease times by 6, which will take us down to 12 stitches in total. And now after that round, we're gonna add some stuffing to the body. And for the next round, we're going to do single crochet decrease times by 4, which will take us down to 8 stitches. Now for the following round, we are going to single crochet all the way round. So go ahead and just single crochet for 8 stitches. Now for round 20, we'll do 2 single crochets and a decrease times by 2, which will take us down to 6 stitches. And then now for the next round, we will just single crochet round. So just single crochet for 6 stitches. And this is what your tail looks like. And now we are going to leave a small tail to sew the end shut. And we'll pull through to finish off. I'm just going to add any final stuffing to the tail that you want to add. And now we're going to sew the end shut. So grab your yarn needle and we're going to go into the front loop of the first stitch, just like this, and pull through. And then out of the front loop of the second stitch. Then into the third stitch and keep going in and out until you've gone into all the stitches. And you can pull tight. And now you're just going to weave your tail in. And now you can just cut off the remainders. And this is your completed Triceratops. I really hope that you enjoyed crocheting your Triceratops plushie. If you did, then please make sure to subscribe for more free crochet tutorials from me. As well, you can get updates on my tutorials over on Instagram. If you'd like the written pattern, it is available on my website and on Patreon. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!